Rolling.
Rolling. What's up?
Greetings.
Mark. Yeah, got Bob here, Mark, Joe behind the camera. Say hello.
Hello.
Talking about the this micro-grange project that we're working on in Escondido, of which we're having an event on March 13th. So everyone's welcome to RSVP. We'll throw up links to that. And if you can come, basically we're going to explain what we're doing here and what we've done and what the vision is, so everyone can have a clear understanding, and hopefully people who are down to support, whether that's through donations or work or relationships, connections, just reach out and let us know, or connect them to this video so we can have discussions, because that's what it's all about.
Come on down.
Yeah. And so, Joe, you recently moved your whole family down. That's like commitment right there. He's in a trailer now on the property. We got equipment. We got his wife and children are here. You know, having a good time, living on the land, like getting this project going. How do you feel about that?
I love it. I mean, completely transformed my life. As you can see, I'm smiling a lot more out in nature.
Check out that shirt you got on.
Huh? Huh?
Yeah.
That's happiness right there.
Yeah. Got OV chilling.
He's still learning not to jump in the pond next door, so
Yeah.
he's got to be leashed up a little bit until we figure that out.
Yeah, he wants to get in there. Got Laura, Rockwell over there, little children's.
Can't have that yet.
Who else over there? Angelina, Sophia, Duran. Hey, hey.
Wave hi.
Wait for the camera. Hello. Hello. No, you don't want to wait.
So, Joe, why don't you explain kind of like some of the work that's been done over here,
Yeah.
prepping the groundwork?
So this whole entire area here was pretty much sloped off. We graded this whole area out for the living arrangements, and then we sloped off this little area, this little trail coming up to where the bobcat is to get to what we're going to show you next, which is the well, and also terraced the upper side so we have some access to be able to get to the food plots.
Well, let's go up to the well through this way. Bob, why don't you talk about like your vision for this cool little spot?
So this is a creek bed that runs through here.
Make sure we can hear
Yeah, creek bed runs through here. Put these palm trees here maybe 15 years ago, thinking that this would be a great spot for a little platform, a little stage. Because it's a natural amphitheater, so the hope was that someday we'd be able to have music in this location.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Get a good view of that, Joe, when you walk by.
So this area here we terraced out last week, and you know, it's kind of happening organically. I mean, as you can see, we're making the routes to be able to get our food plots together, get access to the wells, and get the first phase going.
Yeah, and look, I mean, let's check out that rock wall there. It's like, it's a super cool, just energy spot, like being here. I'm sure the camera shows it a bit, but like being here is really cool. And you can really visualize like having this whole area, having like edible gardens as you're just walking through the property, right? So this is really it's already very alive, but it's gonna become very synergistic. Let's go up, look at this well. You wanna look from the rock up here?
Yeah,
Down
yeah.
on in. I'm just running around with my bare feet. A little bit of rock.
A little early for rattlesnakes, so you're probably okay.
Yeah, it keeps me on my toes. And so here, this is like this well down here that's collapsed. We gotta redo that, which is about somewhere around like 25 grand basically. We gotta, Joe, why don't you talk about that a little bit, what we gotta do here?
Yeah, so actually, talk about the history of the well, Bob.
Yeah, so this well was hand dug in the 1930s by a guy who drove up here about 20 years ago and told the story of his grandparents homesteading this whole area, 80 plus acres. They came down from Riverside in a covered wagon. It took them 2 weeks to get here.
Wow.
And he dug the well by hand. It used to be a bunch of citrus here, 5 foot in diameter and 50 feet deep. So it had a pretty good life, but a few years ago it collapsed completely. And so we used to use the water for the entire property for irrigating everything, but now we don't have anything but city water.
Yeah, so the plan is we get off the city water, use the land to feed itself, reduce expenses, produce, food and vegetation and life that sustains this property and the bubble around it. So people are all welcome to come in for events and stuff when we have them, and maybe start trading from the garden, or maybe bring stuff from your garden if you have a garden at your home. Like, we can have little events here where we do little sharing of like natural grown foods and stuff, and have conversations on where this is going, because this site right here, we're doing this with many sites, up in a little bit north in California, and we're going to be pushing this out across the nation. So we need people who are of like hearts, as I like to say, diverse mindsets, like hearts, going in the same direction. And this is what's going to allow us to really build what I'm calling the soil-based economy, right? Where we are growing our own wealth. You change the concept of it, time and energy. Your time and energy, instead of going into this, fake paper system, you can play those games, but at the end of the day, we got to invest our time and energy and that wealth capital back into the land, so that we have something to pass on to our children and grandchildren that's not going to destroy itself, because our soil is a living organism, right? It's like having the ocean. Imagine if you had no ocean on the earth, it wouldn't work. So we need to get the soil extremely healthy, and that's what this is all about. And so that well is really going to help us make that happen. And yeah, it's going to be about 25 grand for that. I mean, so anything helps, even if it's $5, $10, or someone who may contribute $25 or 100,000, whatever people have, or companies, especially local Escondido businesses that are down to support some vets and community coming together. Natives, we're having Church of the People for Creator Mother Earth out here with Shane Norte and some of the bros from the res coming together and just doing beautiful work. So I hope everyone shows up, if you can, and just come chat with us. We're gonna have food, we're gonna have sound healing, right? In one of the rooms, you're gonna have a little sound healing. People can just cruise through, soak in the vibes. Gonna have a little art display of some cool like pre and post integration for some of these alternative healings that have been done, so people can see visually through the expression of art versus like words. Like, a lot of stuff gets lost in translation because our words aren't enough to really communicate the transformations that happen. Imagine someone who's maybe on the edge of possibly killing themselves, like too many have done, and then to have such a profound moment that they have a spark for life again. Like, that's fucking huge. And that's for all our fallen bros, like Guzo and a lot of people, to just do right by their spirit, their journey, and to put that love into the land, and to not get caught up in the minutia that's so easy to like wrap your ego around. So these types of spaces allow for that kind of awareness to come through, and connection at a human level beyond like sitting around phones and TVs. Like, we sit around a fire and actually have a conversation and chat, because that's how things get done. And we're creative people. Our highest like superpower is just the ability to create. So let's come together and create.
Drum circle.
Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, so Bob, you've had this vision for this property for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
Tell me some other ideas that you were thinking about, because we've had a lot of discussions.
Music, drum circle, food plots, turning these oak trees into little tree houses where people can stay.
Like an Ewok village.
Yeah.
Go watch that Star Wars third one or whatever and see the Ewok village. We're gonna build that here. And check out that spiral staircase. Can you see it?
I'm gonna pop over.
Yeah. So we're gonna use that spiral staircase. We're gonna get that up to a tree house. We're gonna build like little bridges and stuff. It's gonna be really cool. And so on that note, anyone who knows people who are skilled at building tree houses or some of those cool stuff, send them our direction, have them check out this video, and hopefully they want to have a little discussion or maybe show up on the 13th.
And this little bridge over here behind the
let's go over
bamboo is out of telephone poles, and
Yeah, let's
all we
walk it.
used was a rope and pulleys and an expedition to build that.
Well, I mean, that's the cool part is, I mean, already just how many, Don Collier, one of Bob's buddies, it's now one of my buddies, came out, saw what we were doing, dropped everything, and just starts helping run the excavator and the Bobcat. I mean,
Yeah.
people just they feel the synergy, they get going.
And thank you, Don, for doing that, because we haven't even met yet, but obviously we will. And so thanks for coming out and doing all this work. It's really awesome, appreciated, and it's also important for people to see that, like, this idea has a weight and gravity of its own, so people are down to throw in and to support. And yeah, we're really trying to just launch this and make this a really cool success, so people can come and like enjoy the fruits of what we're all doing and benefit from the healing that people are going through by having cool community spaces. So yeah, let's check out that bridge, man. That's cool.
Rope, pulleys, and the expedition.
Well, and that's the fun part is doing this stuff, you know, with not always all the expensive materials and the expensive equipment. Coming up with new ideas and using resources we already have. I mean, that's the staircase. We used the railroad ties and some gabion baskets for that.
Yeah, sustainable, regenerative. I mean, beyond those words even, because those words aren't even enough. They have, in my opinion, limited meanings. Like, we're going beyond. I like to use the word synergy, right? Because all these life forms that exist, they have a purpose, you know, and especially like getting the health of the native plants back up and using them in combination with different foods, like different citrus trees, so that we don't have a monocrop of anything. We just have literally a food forest. So, you know, we have a variety that's enough to sustain, more than enough to sustain this household in this area, plus the neighborhood community and people who pass through. So what's cool about it is this land will be bearing many gifts, right? From the environment of the people, the food, you know, just sharing the views and education. We're going to be cool stuff for the children. We can walk around and find the insects, the lizards, all the natural, you know, entities that are here working to help make this whole property a success. And that's fun, man, looking at, you know, insects and plants and knowing your environment.
And we are adjacent to a 3,000 acre preserve, Daily Ranch, up on top of this hill here. We've got a lot of wildlife here. Most recently, red foxes have shown up.
Yeah, I saw a Harrison hawk yesterday. I mean, yeah, the wildlife is great. Yeah.
A peregrine falcon run into one of these tree branches and get kind of knocked loopy.
Oh yeah.
I went out and picked it up, and that was a mistake. Bare hand, claws, whew. But stuck him in a little chicken pen for about an hour until he got his act together and then flew off.
Nice.
Yeah, and the great thing is, I mean, how close it is to, you know, this is the cool idea about the whole micro-grange is, you know, it being so close to 40 minutes from San Diego, 10 minutes from downtown Escondido. You know, it's all right here. It's all right in the backyard.
25 from the ocean.
And we're going to be doing this. Like, this is a very positive energy that we're building, because that's every community that we go into as Guardian Grange, we're just going to be doing this. Like, we're going to be building, growing. I say it's growing the soil-based economy. It's beyond the concepts of like constructing offices and stuff. Like, we come and we create badass living spaces that are healing just by nature of being here and being among people who are living with purpose, you know? So thanks for listening, and hope you show up on the 13th of March. Right? Want to invite them in, Angelina? Invite them. Go ahead. Tell them please come by on the 13th.
Please come by.
There you go.
Nice.
Now you have to.